Okay, how good was that intro? Hi, everyone. Merry almost Christmas time. You know, some people don't officially start celebrating Christmas until, December 1st. But we're almost there. We're just moments away from it. I'm trying to get this to go live on Instagram, and it's being a funny little bear right now. Come on, Instagram, you can do it. You can do it. We might not be on Instagram today. That's okay. Yeah, that didn't work. This is why I need a tech person like working with me while I'm doing this. Wouldn't that be nice? I'm gonna ask for that. Oh wait, we're talking about asking today. We're actually talking about unleashing the magic of asking. So I was looking at this holiday season, and I usually like to do something themed of the month. I've done many things over the years, and something that was coming up this year was really asking for what we desire. So even, have you ever had someone be like, hey, what would you like for Christmas if you celebrate it? And then you're like, oh, no, like, don't worry about me. I don't really need fill in the blank. Oh, well, okay, never mind. I'm stopping. I'm sorry. I apologize. That was probably annoying, seeing me like waiting for me to click around. I'm giving up on Instagram. It's okay. So you either don't ask, you either say, no, I don't need anything, or what some of us do is we ask for like less than what we actually desire because we don't want to seem greedy, or we don't want to seem whatever we've decided that means. And then sometimes we do ask for what we want, and then we don't get it from the people that we desire. And then that creates this kind of cognitive dissonance and this frustration around asking, like, why do we even bother? Why do I even ask? Have you ever said that? If those words ever left your mouth, then if yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So where do we find the power and the potency and the magic of asking? Because that's what I've discovered. I'm still working on it, but I used to really believe that it was weak to ask for anything. Part of my strength was my independence, and I did everything on my own, and no one ever helped me, and look what I accomplished all on my own. And this is where I saw that as a potency, and maybe even approving of my value. And anytime I would ask for something, it always came from a place where I was like literally incapable, like I would be super sick and just asking for some help, or going through a really rough time. And funny enough, those times where I really, really required that help, when I would ask for it, more often than not, I wouldn't actually get any help, or the help I would get, using quotations in case you're not watching and you're multitasking, would be like way more work. Like it would actually add work onto my life. And I'm like, why did I even bother asking? So if you've been there, you've done that. If you're feeling me, if you're vibing, you're like, Cassie, exactly. Then we're going to clear that. And we're going to use something called the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. So if you're new to Access and me, and you've never heard of this before, then it is just it's a phrase basically that we say that clears out energy. How does it work? I don't know. I don't care. It's magic. It just works. And you can just repeat it and see what changes for you. I definitely notice a massive change when I use it. So everything that this is bringing up and letting down for us, will you destroy an uncreated realm? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, points, pullbacks, creations, spaces, and beyonds. That's the clearing statement. I'm not going to talk any more about it. I might keep using it, but if you want more information, you can go to theclearingstatement.com for more. Okay, so here we are. We're looking at like where we've rejected asking, where maybe you've been made wrong. How many parents are like, stop asking to your kids? Or maybe you've had a partner that's made you wrong. Hi, Claire. Maybe you've just felt pathetic for having to ask. I remember years ago when I was in this relationship, I would say to him, he would say, why didn't you ask me for that? And I would say, I shouldn't have to ask you for that. You know what I'm asking, you know, like what that is. And okay, so now we see we brought up more layers of frustration. Yeah, someone's doing the swear word in YouTube, and I agree. Yeah, that thing. Right? It creates this angst in us and this where we go, okay, fine, I'm doing it on my own. Okay, fine, I'm not going to ask anymore, which creates separation and actually locks us out of this huge potency that I'm going to get to. We just got to clear this, and then I'm going to get to like the magical thing over here. All right. So everything this brings up and all the cognitive dissonance, all the intertwining of cognitive dissonance that this has created in your world and possibly in your body around asking and not asking, will you destroy and create all of that? Please. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, pobats, creations, spaces, and beyonds. Now, some people think that they're really good at asking. However, when they get vulnerable with it, when you get into it, a vulnerable ask, something that maybe is really tender to you or something that you like really truly desire. Like it's easy to ask for like, hey, could you pass the salt? Would you pick up blah, 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 blah. But when you ask for something that's like, would just create a lot. Oh, I just froze. Can you see me? Oh, I'm back. That's where we shut down. And that's where we put up those walls and barriers. So everywhere you've been there and done that, will you destroy and create that, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, pobats, creations, spaces, and beyonds. If you're new to me and you're wondering, why is she waving her hands in the air like jazz hands? This is part of a way that I move energy. Creating more space for us as we explore this topic together. So if you know me, I love magic. I believe magic is real. I'm not talking airy-fairy, poofy-woofy stuff where we pretend something's going on and nothing is actually going on. I'm talking about real magic, true change, true potency, true miraculousness. And what I know to be true for me is asking is magic. But who do we ask? When do we ask? Why do we ask? And what are we actually asking for? And those are the pieces that are filling in the blank. Those are the missing pieces of where we have these moments show up of frustration, of upset, and the cognitive dissonance. Because on one hand, we feel like ask and you shall receive should be true. And it is. It's actually a law of the universe. Yeah, even though it was hidden in the Bible. It's actually true. Ask and you shall receive. So we have this and we know it to be true, yet we think we're asking and it's not showing up. So then that's the dissonance. So that's cognitive dissonance. And it's the dissonance between those two, okay, that create. So the bigger the dissonance, the more you get twisted up around it. So everything that is times a gazillion. Will you destroy and create it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, pobats, creations, spaces, and beyonds. So if you looked at this for you, what have you stopped asking for? Maybe you just stopped, like my partner, he would always say, because I did all the cooking, and he would always go, okay, I'll do not all the dishes, but just dinner dishes. But then he'd never do them. And then I have to ask him. I had to remind him. And then it was like too much work. And then I'd watch them, and then he'd get mad at me for doing it. And it was this constant frustration. And eventually I just stopped asking. I was like, I'm just not even going to ask anymore. So that energy, where have you become that in your life? And it could be overall everywhere, and it could be just in specific areas. Like, You just stopped asking for something greater than what you have, even if you have something wonderful. But if you stop asking for more, then you will hit an endpoint, really. Like, you have completed your life. But do you want your life completed before you're dead? Probably not. What if we were continuously asking, and every ask enriched? Every ask made your life greater and greater and greater. Have you ever watched the movie Neverending Story? So amazing. I love it. It's an 80s movie, so you might not have seen it, but if you haven't, I recommend you go find it and watch it, because it'll change your world in like little sneaky ways that you don't even know. But one of the things in there is that, and I'm going to try and describe this without spoiling the movie, but there's this scene where there's an empress, okay? And something was lost to her, something that was so precious. And she was talking to a boy who was just beginning to realize that magic was true, because he always knew it, but the world had kind of corrupted his belief in it, if that makes sense. So there's like what you know and then what you believe. So he knew somewhere within himself that magic was real, but this reality and his dad and the school and the teachers, like, they just kept showing him that it wasn't real. They kept saying, get your head out of the clouds, and, you know, like, come down to earth. And so when she asked him, she said, she had this one grain of sand, okay, this little magical grain. And she said, what would you ask for? And he said, I don't know. And then she said, then all will be lost. Because if he wasn't willing to ask, then there was no possibility of anything new showing up. And everything that she had lost would remain lost. And then he thought about it, and he's like, oh, there is one thing I'd ask for. And he asked for it, and it came true, as if by magic. And it was like a glorious, like, ask, just for like the fun of it. And then he started to ask for more, and he started to ask for more. And the more he asked, the richer the world got, and the richer his world got. And he brought magic to the quote unquote real world through the power of his ask. So this is something that you know within you. This is something innately that you know, this power of asking. And have you lost trust in that? Have you forgotten its power? Have you been made to believe the lies of this reality that just asking isn't enough, and you have to work hard for it, and you have to, you know, be a certain status or be a certain something to be blessed with whatever it is you're asking for? A lot of us have. Sometimes it's so insidious and so undertoned that we're not even aware that it's still going on. We have this thinking, not knowing, this thinking that, yeah, I'm asking, yeah, but there's this underlining point of view of, but I know it's not actually going to show up. I know a lot of people that they're like, well, I'm asking for this. They're like, what would it take? And the vibration I can perceive right underneath that, what would it take, is, and it won't happen for me. And I know I won't get it. And that's that, like, space of like hopelessness, really. And over here, we're doing the fake it till you make it. Like, over here, we're putting on that face and we're pretending that we're asking. But what's true for us, what we've made true, is this lie that it's not that easy. And I've asked for things before and they haven't shown up. and all of that cognitive dissonance and that angst, right? So everything that brings up and lets down for you, you destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, poets, creation, species, and beyonds. So how do you unleash the magic of asking? So if you're here, like how we just talked about, and that's touching you to your core, and you're like, Cassie, that's me. Like I ask, and sometimes things show up, and then I'm like, oh, maybe it is true, and then other things don't show up, and then I'm like, oh, and you're in this dissonance, right? We're gonna look at this together for a little bit, and I would love for you to be able to tap into your magic, your power, and your potency with asking, because what a gift to give yourself this holiday, and what a gift to give others. Because just like in that movie when she's asking, and the world's getting greater and greater and greater, more wonderful, right? When she's asking, or he's asking, her world's getting greater, and the world is getting greater, because those generative asks that literally bring possibilities here creates more for everyone. Even if it feels like maybe you're asking for material items, like, oh, I'd love a new home, I'd love a new car. And how does that really affect the world? You're making it richer, because your energy gets lighter and brighter. Your vibration raises. You raise the vibration of the whole. We're all interconnected. So you can be as selfish with your asks as you'd like, knowing that you can't actually be selfish with your asks, because if it's going to expand your life, it will expand everyone's life. Whether or not they know it or they will ever acknowledge or be grateful, who knows? But you'll know. And that's what's important. Okay, so a few things with the magic of asking is you got to clear out those underlying points of view that I was bringing up. So it's really like, start there. Where have you bought that asking doesn't actually work? Where have you bought that that's just hocus pocus, or that's woo woo, or whatever? Where have you been made wrong for asking? So it's like going into a clearing-a-thon, okay? So clear all those energies that are coming up. And if you're not used to clearing energies, if you're not used to clearing thoughts, feelings, and emotions, you can just simply use that clearing statement that I shared with you. So you can just say, just kind of make a list, even like just write down like, well, that's backwards. Just write down like, okay, these are all of the things that prove that asking doesn't work. Write them all down. And then go, everything this is, and everything I bought about this, I destroy and uncreate it all. And then use the clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 100, shorts, boys, poets, creations, space, events. I love lists, something we can see. And I'm like a visual kind of person like that. You could see it and it's there. And then you can go, and I'm letting this go. I'm going to destroy and uncreate this. And then you can write about all your points of view about asking, like, it makes me weak. I've been made so wrong for it. I've been abused because I asked. A lot of partners, if you're in a gaslighting kind of relationship, asking is a dangerous thing. So everywhere asking has been made a dangerous thing for you, where you get shamed, you get humiliated, you get wronged, you get punished. Woo! Will you destroy and create all of that, please? Right, wrong, good and bad. Occupy all 100 shorts, boys, poets, creations, bases, and beyonds. Okay. Woo. I'm just perceiving this energy shifting. This is great, because usually on kind of like a live scenario, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram Live, I noticed like there's a lot of walls up for people like going too far into the weird or too much into the energy work. So I just kind of brush along it. But something's different, because I'm able to kind of really start to nudge open the door to possibility here with you all. So thank you so much for being here now and in the future, whenever you're watching this. Okay, so the first step is we're clearing. clear that stuff out. Clear it out. You don't need to hold on to that. It's not protection. A lot of us hold on to these points of view and these things because it's like, oh, that makes me safe though, because I don't want what happened before to happen to me again. I don't want to get abused again. I don't want to get shamed again. I don't want to feel weak again. Or I don't want to be disappointed again. Holding on to things does not actually protect you at all. Oh, you're so welcome. Holding on to things actually doesn't protect you. It holds the energy of it in your world so that you have to constantly be pinging off of it, and it keeps it. It's so almost like, imagine like carrying along abuse with you in a backpack or in a sack, right? And then you're always, is this it? I'm going to get abused? Is this going to happen? Is this? And it stops and limits you from going beyond it. So holding on does not serve you at all. Your awareness that you received from whatever that incident was, you don't hold on to it. It becomes you. So your awareness becomes like who you be. You don't need to hold on to these energies or hold on to the stuff in the past, because you already received the awareness. Oh, wow. If I ask this person, not if I ask, okay? You got to kill that. It's not if I ask, fill in the blank. If I ask this person, most likely I'll get abused. Okay, you already have that awareness, and that awareness has become part of you. So you don't need to carry it around. You don't need to carry around the memories. You don't need to carry around the energies. You don't need to carry around the points of view that you created based on that. Like, I guess asking isn't safe. I guess, and we kind of do that, right? We blanket it. It's allow it to be true to what it was. This person, this scenario, this thing. And maybe you haven't experienced abuse. Maybe you're the other person where you're like proving your value and you're proving how awesome you are because you're so independent. You can do everything on your own. Well, I have something for you that maybe will piss you off. If we're all interconnected, which I believe we are, if we're all part of the universe, if we are an ocean of oneness and also a single drop, can you do anything on your own? Not really. Because it's an ocean. Because you're utilizing the whole ocean, every single thing that you do. So why not ask and receive more help rather than actually separating from being the little drop in the ocean, but trying to create a little separate ball and pretending like that's the most valuable thing. You're valuable by being you, and your ask is valuable. Your ask, just like that little boy that opened up the possibilities for her, because he could ask for things that she couldn't. And you can ask for things that other people just are not capable of asking for. And when you ask for it and you receive it and have it in your life, guess what? They start to go, whoa, maybe that is possible. You just change their reality. You just open them up to like a whole universe of receiving. And maybe they'll start asking for more than they thought they could ask for. That is the gift, the power, the magic of asking. So back to step one, we're clearing stuff. And if you have someone that is fun to clear energy with, invite them. Oh, Merry Christmas. Ask them to clear with you. You could do it on your own. Maybe you have different techniques that you use to clear. Maybe you do something called access bars, and you can play this in the background, play it on low, and you can get your bars run. Or you could talk about all of the stuff that comes up for you around asking. Okay, so we're clearing that out. That's step one. This is before you do anything, you got to clear out the junk, right? It's almost like you want to like remodel your home, or you want it a really messy room to look good. You have to edit it. You have to declutter. You have to de-junk. You have to let stuff out of your space. So there's your physical space and your energetic space, and we're clearing out that energetic space. So clear that stuff out, clear all those points of view, and then you can start to open the door to asking. All right. So now there's a few things with asking. One is getting clear on if you actually want what you're asking for. Okay. This is a big one. And I see so many people. And they're like, I've been asking for this for 10 years. And then it literally shows up and they're like, nah, I don't really want that. It could even be a person like, I wish I could be in a relationship with this person. And then that person who is maybe married in a committed relationship, they get single. And no joke, this one particular friend of mine who was in love with this man since she was like a young 20-year-old, right? And I was like, whoa, what are you going to do? And she was like, oh yeah, I'm not actually interested in them. I'm like, what? But they had so much angst because what they're asking for wasn't showing up. You see? So what are you asking for that you don't actually desire? And you're creating all this angst and all this cognitive dissonance and these limited points of view about it. But what's true is you won't desire it. Stop that. That's a tip. So stop that. Stop asking for things that you don't actually desire. So how do you get clear on what you actually desire? There's a few different ways. One way I love is back to writing the lists. I love lists. So write down like, what are your asks? And you could go, what are my asks for the next year? You could write down, what are my asks for my body? What are my asks for my money? What are my asks for my business, my relationship? All that, like you can break it into categories, whatever's like fun for you. And then go through your list and you want to like get really clear and go, all right, is this mine? Is this something I actually want? How many people are like, I just want a relationship. And then they get into one and they're like, oh my God, I do not want a relationship. It's okay to not want a relationship. It is really okay to love, to be on your own, to be playing with multiple people, to not be in a committed thing. I know that it's judged. I know that it's made wrong. And what if it wasn't? What if it's okay? Whatever that is for you. For you to have whatever relationship reality you would like to have. Maybe some people are like, oh my God, I just want to lose weight. I just want to lose the weight. And then when they do, women start losing their bust size and they're like, oh my God, I hate this. I actually want the 5 pounds back on. Maybe they actually like a voluptuous body, but they've been told that they shouldn't, that they should want to be skinny, skinny, skinny. So what are you asking for that isn't true for you? So that's probably step 2. If we had steps, this would be the next step I would recommend, is to get clear on what you're asking for and if you actually desire it. And you could kind of play this game where I like to play this game, where I kind of get my energetic space. So perceive it right now. Perceive your energetic space. Okay. So if you're new to perceiving energy, you might be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing happened. You're crazy. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. And if you're not new to it, then you're going to get it right away. If you're new to perceiving energy, whatever shows up when I start, you are perceiving it. You just might not be quite aware of it yet because you got to practice knowing what you know. You got to practice like exploring these capacities. But this is what we're gonna try. So you get a sense of your energetic space. Okay. So here we go. And then take something you've been asking for, like especially something you've been asking for a long time. Like, I don't know. I got new car popped up. Maybe someone wants a new car. Relationship. Oh, that's even better. Let's do relationship. Okay. Maybe you've been single for like 10 years. And you're like, oh my God, I just want a relationship. Okay. So now I want you to, have your energetic space. Now just put a relationship, like that energy relationship, in your space. Does it expand or does it contract? That's a great indication of what's true for you because your energy won't lie. Your being knows. It's your mind that is telling you certain things that you desire. So if it starts contracting, then it is probably not true that you want a relationship. If it expands, then it is probably true that you would love a relationship, and then you can ask for that, but we're going to ask for it in a way that actually works. Okay. I'm going to get to that at the end of this. And this is going way longer than I expected, but I'm having so much fun here with you guys. So we'll go a little bit longer. So all these things, you have your list and you're asking and you're like, okay, is it expanding? Is it contracting? Right? You're exploring this for yourself. And now you're starting to get a clear sense of things that you'd really desire. Yeah. So the last step here is congruency. Congruency. For a humanoid, for a wizard, if you're not congruent with what you're asking for, then what will often happen is you will actually be an energy of rejecting, like pushing it away while thinking that you're asking for it. Or you're being such an energy that there's no way for it to come in. Like the universe might be trying to hand it to you, but there's no door open. It's like a closed wall. Okay? Does that make sense? So, yeah. So here we are getting to this congruency piece. Now, congruency is kind of like a pretty large topic. I'll try and brush on it here. But it might be something that you want to like go get a master class in. Like, actually, I have a class coming up that maybe you'd want to join, but I'm going to talk about that later. So congruency, get a sense of like when something is congruent for you, when something is incongruent for you. A great example would be, I remember when I first started traveling many, many years ago, I live in a small, well, it's not like super small town. I think there's like 160,000 people here, but that's like relatively small to some of like the big city folk, right? And even though I have an international airport, it's pretty small. And the planes that come out of here are often pretty small jets, okay? And so many people were like, oh my God, first class is so special and I should have first class. And why don't you do first class? And what's wrong with you because you're not doing first class? And I would get onto these little jets and I would look at the first class. It would be like the first 4 rows. And it's the exact same seat, but they would put like a little booster thing in between. So you weren't like sitting next to someone. And then you would get like some alcoholic drink on your 1-hour flight. And I was like, it was so incongruent for me. And I'm like, I don't care about first class. I'm not going to spend an extra $100 for that. It was so incongruent. And I was aware of that. So I never asked for it. Then I traveled internationally. I traveled to Ireland and I was gifted a first class business, like when the seats recline and you're like lying flat. Oh, they've got like comfortable headphones for you. They've got like everything. Okay. The yummiest food. That was congruent for me. That was like where there was this contributory energy and where my world actually expanded from it. It was this really like vibrationally congruent. It was congruent with my being. It was congruent with my desires. It was congruent with what was valuable to me. The other thing was not valuable to me. So if I would have asked for first class tickets at that point, would I have received them? The answer is no, my friend. No, I would not have received them. And then I would have judged myself. And then all that stuff that we were clearing at the beginning would have been playing out in my world. Like, it would have confirmed that asking doesn't work. It would have confirmed that, I have to work harder. It would have confirmed I'm unlucky, like all these different things because I actually just wasn't congruent. It wasn't a congruent ask. The beautiful flight to Dublin was so congruent. A lot of us ask for way less than what is congruent with us because, like I said, we don't want to seem greedy. We don't want people to think bad of us. We don't want whatever, fill in the blank, whatever you've decided you don't want. and we're clearing that, right? So getting congruent with your asks is kind of like this, I don't know, finesse, like this thing that you might have to work on a little bit. And once you had that congruency, that's when I've seen things show up as if by magic, like boom, 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 boom. I remember when I first started taking one-on-one clients, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm ready for an office. Before then, I was kind of renting like random spaces. I was even traveling. Like I had a massage table and travel to people's places and set up, which is like super not fun, carrying stuff around. And I was like, I am ready for an office. Like I am ready for this. Congruency. Boom. Like right there. It was so energetically congruent. From that congruency, I started to ask, I'm like, so what would I like this space to be like? And I'm like, I would like something like with like really beautiful natural light. And I got the energy of like what that would be like, and something like kind of fun and like interesting, and then just for fun, I'm like, and it would be so fun. There was like a coffee shop in this like little more swankier part of town that I used to go, and I would go to this particular coffee shop that I absolutely loved. It was called the Marmalade Cafe, and Marmalade Cat Cafe, and the yummiest food, the most delicious drink. And I'm like, it'd be cool if there was like offices above it or something. And as far as I knew, there was nothing above it. I had no actual cognitive information about this, but it would be cool to be like near there or somewhere around there. Okay. So I asked this. This is the magic. Okay. I was just asking to the universe. I wasn't asking to someone else. I wasn't asking someone to make this for me or do this for me. I was asking like, what would it take for this to show up? And then I got this energy of like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, where would I look for it? And then there's a local like online classifieds thing, and I opened it up, and not joking, a place for rent in my budget above the Marmalade Cat. Okay. Beautiful natural light and a very funky, interesting, like artistic space and it had more than I even asked for, because it also had a big room that you could rent for events and for the classes that I was doing. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And I called and I met her like the next day, and I got the place right away. And it was incredible. That is the power. That is the magic. That is the potency of asking. If you're not having that show up, there are maybe some things here that we've talked about that just need some tweaking so that you can have that power of asking. So you might have to look at, what do I need to clear? You might have to look at, am I asking for things that I don't even desire? Because you won't create them. Am I congruent with my asks? Yeah. And then the last piece is like a receiving piece. Are you willing to receive what you're asking for? All of these like beautiful things come together in this unlocking of this magic for you. So whatever you're planning, whatever you're choosing, like this holiday season or for your life for 2026, beyond, what if you could unleash the power of your ask? Like, what if you could really have that magic in your life, and that knowing that what you ask for, you shall receive? What would your life be like if you lived that way? If you lived your life from that awareness, if that was the underlining energy underneath every ask, that true knowing that you've asked for it, it will show up. When it will show up and how it will show up, those are up to the universe. But you get to ask, and you get to know, be, perceive, and receive. So I want to invite you to two things. One, I have a free advent calendar opening December 1st. So it's a countdown to Christmas. It's on my website. I'll put a link in the description here. Essentially, you just go there and you open up a little door. It's so cute. And there's an ask prompt. And I actually explain in the first one, there's a video of explaining like how the whole thing works. But this is a start, getting you to start looking at different things you can be asking for. Because another thing that I've noticed that people have is they don't even know what to ask for. I'm like, what are you asking for this next year? I don't know. So these prompts are to get you to create a list, 25 different items. So you can start from 0 and you're going to end with 25 items of things that you really, truly desire, of things that you would really like to ask for to show up in your life. And you're just putting that into the universe's like generator to show up for you. So that is a free gift. This is my holiday gift for all you wonderful, miraculous wizards out there. Please take advantage. You don't even have to give me your email. You literally just go to the website and click and play with it and open it and enjoy it. And there's music on that side. Make sure you hit that play button, play that music, whole experience, right? Okay, so that's the free thing. And then the paid thing is, I would love to invite you to something I have 25 days of asking, and it's actually a program. So we kick off December 1st. We're going to do an hour and a half Zoom, and we're going to go into these things that I've touched on today, and we're going to deep dive, and we're going to be on Zoom together. If you have individual questions, if you have individual things that you're like, this is so deep in me, I don't know how to clear it. Thanks so much, Claire. I'm going to help you clear it. That's what I'm there for. I'm there to facilitate the change that you're asking for. We are going to clear out everything stopping you from truly asking and receiving the things that you'd like to have. We're going to talk about congruency. We're going to play with all those things. And yes, you can ask your personal questions, and we'll do a bunch of group stuff. Then midway through, I think it's December 15th or 16th, then I'm going to do something called a Symphony of Possibility group taster. And this is where I use this symphony energy, this energetic magic that will go deep into the layers beyond the cognitive stuff and into your body and into your being to unlock and unleash your magic with asking, to really allow that potency to be forward in your life. And then we end up with a wrap-up call on December 22nd, not too close to Christmas, but close enough. And anything else that you want to ask for, anything else that you want to deep dive in, we're going to explore, and we're just going to go as far as you're willing to go, because I truly believe we can be that little boy with that one little grain of sand and asking for miracles and have those miracles show up. I know I've had so many miracles. That story with the office showing up is one of many that I have. And it wasn't until I gained all of this other stuff that my asks really started working for me. They did work somewhat before, but not to this degree. One more thing. This is actually just like coming up right now, is that anyone that actually watched this to the end, because this is like a good 43 minutes, might be 45 by the time I'm done. I'm going to give you a secret code. I'm not even going to type it at the bottom. I'm not. But if you use a secret code, you're going to get $100 off the ticket. Yeah. So what's the code going to be? I'm going to have to write it down, because I'm going to, right after I get off this, I'll put it into the program. We're going to do, it's going to be called WOW Gift, all caps, 100, WOW GIFT 100, WOW Gift 100. You're going to get $100 off this ticket price. Jump in, join me December 1st. It's going to be miraculous. And we can really, really go where you need to go, so you can totally and truly walk in the world with the magic of your ask. What would it take to get a parking spot? What would it take for me to get a raise? What would it take for a really beautiful partner to show up? What would it take for, and you just are asking and receiving and living your life in this magical, powerful, potent way. It is possible for you. Please join me. I would love to see you there. Thanks so much for popping this off with me and exploring this as far as you're willing to explore it. And what if this holiday, what if 2026 could be the beginning of something truly different for you? And what if you just need to ask for it? Bye for now.